Imagine you're a studio executive about to invest millions of dollars into a new film. Before making that decision, you want to know one thing: what actually drives box office success? To answer that question, we analyzed a data set of 400 movies across 14 variables. From that data, we focused on 6 variables to investigate 4 critical business questions. We wanted to understand which genres generate the highest revenue. Does release timing influence performance? Do award-winning films earn more at the box office? And can ratings predict financial success? By the end of this analysis, we'll uncover patterns that can help studios maximize revenue, make smarter production decisions, and reduce investment risk. Before we could uncover any meaningful insights, we had to make sure the data was telling us the truth. Using Google Colab, I cleaned and prepared the data set to ensure the analysis was accurate and reliable. This process included checking for missing values and duplicate records, standardizing genre categories, filling missing genre data using the most common category, creating a new seasonal variable to evaluate release timing. Think of this step as preparing a film set before shooting begins. Without proper preparation, the final product can't be trusted. Once the data was cleaned, we were ready to start looking for the factors that separate average performers from major successes. Before exploring what drives success, it's important to understand what success actually looks like in this industry. As this histogram shows, box office revenue is far from evenly distributed. Most films generate relatively modest revenue, while a small number of movies account for exceptionally large earnings. This creates a highly skewed distribution. In other words, the movie business isn't driven by the average film, it's driven by a handful of standout performers. That raises an important question: what do those high-performing films have in common? Our first clue comes from genre. Genre is one of the earliest strategic decisions made during development, and it directly influences audiences' demand, marketing strategy, and revenue potential. For a studio, choosing the right genre can significantly affect the likelihood of financial success. This analysis reveals which genres are more likely to generate higher revenue. Understanding these patterns helps studios evaluate risks before production even begins. But even the right movie can struggle if it's released at the wrong time. Release timing is another factor that can significantly influence audience turnout. Throughout the year, moviegoer demand fluctuates, with certain periods attracting larger audiences than others. Summer vacations and holiday seasons often create opportunities for stronger performance, while other periods can be more challenging. This raises another question: when exactly are studios most likely to see the strongest returns? This table gives us a closer look at the answer. When we break down revenue by month, clear patterns begin to emerge. Months such as June, July, and December show higher average revenue. Meanwhile, months like January and September generally produce lower average performance. These findings reinforce the idea that timing isn't just a scheduling decision, it's a revenue strategy. For studios, selecting the right release window can be just as important as selecting the right project. Of course, financial success isn't the only measure of a film's performance. Recognition through awards can increase visibility, strengthen a film's reputation, and generate additional audience interest. So the question becomes, does critical recognition translate into stronger box office results? This comparison allows us to evaluate whether award-winning films consistently outperform films that do not receive major recognition. The final piece of the puzzle is audience and critic feedback. Ratings are often viewed as indicators of quality, but it's not always clear whether they drive revenue or simply reflect a film's success after the fact. To explore this relationship, we analyzed both critic scores and user ratings. The goal was to determine whether these measures can serve as early signals of box office performance. If strong relationships exist, studios could potentially use ratings and revenue as forecasting tools before a film reaches its full theatrical run. Taken together, these findings provide a clear picture of the factors that influence box office success. By examining genre, timing, awards, and ratings, we can move along with intuition and identify data-driven strategies that help studios make smarter investment decisions.